Come on, put your hand together. Sorry, but all that's so. I'm so glad. Yes, I am. But all that's so. Yes, I'm so glad. But all that's so. Listen, and that's when you want. But it's all time. The trouble. Out in the beat. It's time. Start now. We'll be there. All your brothers. I know the Lord. You're the best. Trouble don't last. Trouble don't last. So listen. And that comes in your water. But it's all time. The trouble. Down in the beat. It's start by riding. I know he'll be there. Yes, he will. Everybody else about it. I know the Lord. You're the best. Trouble don't last always. I just want to know I'm so glad. Trouble don't last always. We've been made. We've been to a heart. Come on, y'all. Just to get a witness in the building. No, no. And you just you the big tomorrow. Put your hand together. Hello, everyone. My name is Pastor Marty Peters. I'm on with Brenda Grisham, Pastor Wayne Jackson, and I'm mad as hell.
I had to look up to see who that was.
I'm drinking some water. I'm trying to calm down. Why am I so mad? Because there's been another shootout on 580, and I got caught up in the traffic. I've been sitting on 580 around the seminary westbound exit. The shootout took place eastbound, heading from San Angelo, heading into Oakland at the top of Edwards Avenue. Black SUV shot up. If that person did not pass, that person need to be in church shouting the whole entire service, thanking God for sparing his or her life. There's been 7 or 8 murders this week, and I'm very frustrated, y'all. This is ridiculous. Nice hairdo, Brenda. Nice hairdo. Nice hairdo, Wayne.
Yeah, I just curled it.
Yeah.
I just permed it.
I just put a perm on it back.
I had to say something because y'all, when we was in the green room, I was going off because it just doesn't stop. Black people just have not learned how to stop being violent against each other. Now, somebody gonna say, well, how do you know it was black? All the murders this week in Oakland been black on black crime. And it's been females too that have been murdered too. The female at the homeless encampment right around the corner from Brenda's place of employment, she was murdered.
Wow.
They said it was over 100 and something bullets out there.
You saw it. You saw the video.
I did see the video.
Yeah.
I did see the video.
I don't know how only one person died.
It's ridiculous, you all, and it doesn't stop. Marty Peters, real talk. I'm trying to get over there, y'all. I'm trying to get over there, so I can see y'all over there. I'm kind of lost. We got a whole lot to talk about tonight, but I'm really kind of lost at this rigmarole, this nonsense that does not stop. It doesn't stop. Go ahead, Wayne and Brenda. Y'all go ahead and greet the people and say what y'all say.
Hello, everybody. We're here again with Dr. Peters. Y'all pray for Doctor because he trying to calm down tonight.
Yeah.
But Brenda, you had the OK Corral over there by your place, girl. That video was something else. I mean, they just jumped out and started blasting.
Went straight to where they was going to. And I tell you, I was throwing grandbabies on the floor. I was in the shop doing hair. I was snatching grandbabies on the couch because we didn't know what way it was going.
You were grabbing weaves and braids and hitting the floor.
Slamming those. We didn't know what was going on. Yeah, that was something else.
Wow.
Brenda, it sounded like you was in a foreign country in Beirut somewhere, huh?
Man. The guys came upstairs to make sure I was okay. I said, y'all okay? They said, we hit the floor.
Yeah.
That was a lot. That was a lot. That was definitely a lot. Luckily, the kids had no idea what was going on.
But it's interesting, Marty, that you are caught up on that, because there's been a lot happening on the freeway, and it's like they've been chasing each other and just shooting each other down, no matter where they are. But your mayor said that she's frustrated because the police commission has been dragging their feet in selecting a new chief. And she said, she might have to declare a state of emergency for Oakland because of the crime.
She also said she may have to take her. What did she say, Brenda, about her power?
Executive powers and hire a police chief. First of all, she ain't telling nobody we don't have no applications. So how can the police commission pick somebody if they don't have no applicants? You gotta have first.
Well, see, here's the strategy, y'all. This has been happening across the country. People, these mayors and governors, using their executive privilege and executive power to bring in their own people. That's what they want to do anyway.
Well, we figured that. We figured that.
Get rid of LaRon.
But
she bypassed the police commission and fired him. Now she's trying to bypass the police commission and hire who she want to hire.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, first she said she fired him, but she's not going to be the one to do the search to get a replacement. Now she's saying the commission is dragging their feet, and so she's going to use executive privilege to hire her chief that she wants. Well, see,
she said her executive power, not her executive privilege.
Well, I'm calling it privilege.
Yeah.
Well, I get that. I get that. I get that. But that ain't clear privilege.
No,
she's not clear.
That's party privilege.
Well, we're gonna have to look up the charter because somebody said she can't do that. So
that's what the Oakland charter says.
Yeah, I need to look and see. That's what somebody said. Yeah.
I don't know if I believe that, because she's showing the hell fired LaRon. And then even in the meeting, people were talking about the meeting when they was like asking the residents of Oakland, what is it that you want in a police chief? And several people got upset. We want somebody like LaRon Armstrong. Well, you're not going to get nobody like LaRon Armstrong, because LaRon Armstrong is fired and he's frustrated and he got a lawsuit in against the city of Oakland now.
Well,
she could end that right quick. Just give him a call, apologize, and give him his call back. He's good to go.
That's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen.
How can you trust somebody that fired you and then turn around and rehire you again? You can't trust nobody like that. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone.
Maybe that's why ain't nobody put in an application yet.
Because don't nobody want to come here because they know we have an oversighter. Don't nobody want to come here because they know Oakland is corrupt. Don't nobody want to come here because this is last.
They can't come here and not be able to exercise their expertise and authority. Ain't nobody gonna sit up under no federal oversight person and be dictated
after 21 years. After 21 years, he done built this plantation. After 21 years,
that's crazy.
He's supposed to be going back to court next month to see if they can end it.
Man, I don't believe that. Just like I don't believe I'm gonna hit the lottery tonight.
Did you play?
No.
Did you ain't go hit the lottery? That's right.
No, I did not play.
Yeah, well, interesting. I didn't.
So where we gonna start tonight, y'all? It's a whole lot going on. My frat brother, what's up, Ryan? A5. My district.
Well, we talked about last week when we ended off with that list that she sent Brenda.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
We got some more. We have more wood to put in the fireplace.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
You got a judge who declared that he felt like he was misled by the DA.
That's what the judge said. He felt like he was misled. The judge. Let's get that
The
straight.
judge.
Not
He
anybody.
felt, or he said he was misled. Did he say
He
felt?
was misled.
He said
Right,
he was misled.
He was misled, and no, you ain't getting his phone records. Bye.
Brenda,
Yeah.
my
What?
district director said you are a mess.
Who, me?
Yeah. Ryan, really all three of us are when you put the trio together. It ain't fun when it's just two of us. It's a whole lot of fun when it's all three of us because we have a heart for our city. We have a heart for what's doing for what's right. We have a heart for people. We have a heart for victims of violent crimes. Do you all know a statement? Let me see if I get it right. If I don't get it right, Brenda, correct me where I stand to be corrected.
Okay.
The DA, listen at this, Fred. The DA, listen at this, y'all. Our audience, listen at this. Y'all growing. Y'all invite somebody and tell somebody to listen to real talk. Oh my God, where my real folk at? Because I need y'all to holler back at me. I need y'all to leave comment to me. The DA said, correct me if I'm wrong, Brenda and Wayne. God, let me say this right because they think we don't like her. We don't even know her. But anyway, she said that the families of victims of violent crimes, listen at this, Nisi, the families of victims of violent crimes should be more compassionate to the people who have killed their relatives.
That's what she
did
said.
I say that right, Brenda? Wayne, did I say that right?
Yeah, that's right.
That's about what you said.
Yeah.
That the people who are hurting should have compassion on the individual or individuals that have murdered their family.
Yeah.
Y'all hear what I'm saying? This is what she said. Why do they have to be compassionate while you're letting people out that have killed their children before they even begin the grieving process?
And it's in the Wall Street Journal.
They've been watching too many movies.
What is on the Wall Street Journal?
That article is on the Wall Street Journal.
What article are you talking about?
Y'all see my eyes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the title is How to Serve White Victims. Oakland, California is plagued by crime and by a district attorney, Pamela Price, determined to divide people by race. That's the name of it. That's the title.
I don't have any Excedrin migraine or Vicodins or anything sitting up here, so my head won't stop hurting. This is black on black crime, and they're saying that she's trying to make it about race. And do they mean by race by allowing the convicted individuals out early because they're black? Is that what she said? Is that what y'all get, that she's talking about race? I could be wrong.
Well, she has already introduced racial considerations into the prosecution of criminals of color. So now she got to figure out what to do with the white people. This was a presentation by the Victims of Crime Unit.
Yeah.
In the Wall Street Journal.
It's gonna be a long night, Nisi. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. It's gonna be a long night. It's gonna be a long night. So hold on, Holly Harrell. God bless that's my sister. I love me some Holly Harrell. Holly Harrell said her wig must be tied tight with that BS.
It's in the Wall Street Journal. Y'all could Google it.
Let her, and this is exactly where I'm going, Holly. Let her walk in our shoes and then re-ask that question. Thank you. Hold on, let me read Ryan's because I'm coming back. Frat, I just remember from Singapore. There's no homeless, no crime, no assaults. Punishment to those who commit crimes are viewed publicly. She made it a political issue, saying the Republicans is pushing her for the recall. Nah, I ain't no Republican, and I'm pushing for a recall. Next, foolishness on, huh?
That's just rhetoric. They all, whenever they have some opposition come their way, the first thing they say is the Republicans, and the Republicans say the Democrats. See, this whole thing is a game. They point fingers at each other instead of taking the blame for what they're doing. Everything is about the liberal or the Democrat or the conservative. Brenda's a Republican because she's opposing it. You're a Republican. We all Republican now.
It's racist, but I'm black, so we just bypass the fact that I'm right here and I'm black. I'm not a Republican.
You
and
did
I'm the primary officer in the
recall. You did say that on worldwide news. Well, anyway, hold on. Let's forget about this. Forget about the parties. This ain't got nothing to do with no parties. Watch this, you all. So I'm talking to my brother Wayne. I'm talking to my sister Brenda, and I'm talking to my sister Holly. I don't know who else on here who have lost a child. Holly have lost her son. Brenda's lost her son. Both of their sons were like 15, 16, 17 years old, somewhere around there. Wayne, how old was your brother when he was murdered?
He was in his mid-20s.
Okay. Very young. So let me ask you all, would hearing the DA make that statement, and if anybody on here, you have lost a child or a sister or brother, how does that make you feel when the district attorney, Pamela Price of Alameda County, says that y'all should have compassion on the people who interrupted and caused stress and grief, sleepless nights? I don't even know how you sleep now, Brenda. Holly, I don't know how you sleep. Holly's son was 17. I think my nephew was 16 when he passed. Christopher.
He was 17.
He was 17. So both of y'all sons were 17. I don't know if you knew that. Both of y'all sons were 17. How does that make y'all feel by hearing somebody who was voted and elected? Because she keeps saying I'm doing what the people elected me to do. How does that make y'all feel when she tell y'all? In other words, y'all, if me looking from the outside here, because I have daughters, I haven't lost a child. I haven't lost a parent. I haven't lost any immediate families to gun violence. But I can't fathom the thought. She basically telling y'all, get over it. I'm going to let them out. If you ask me in this window, that seems like what she's saying to me.
No, that is what she's saying. She's here to disrupt the judicial system. She said that many, many, many times. Many.
Yeah, that was the whole platform. That's the whole agenda of the progressive movement. Yeah.
Just like they don't understand the ranked choice voting, they didn't know that was what she meant. When she said she was running a passionate campaign, they had no idea she was talking about she was going to be compassionate to the criminals.
See, that whole issue of restorative justice, it's one, I think the voters did not even understand what she was talking about.
Right.
It's cold language. It's they don't believe in real justice. They believe that if you're black and you commit a crime, that because of our history of being oppressed and suppressed and regressed and all the other aggresses, that you should be given leniency because it's not your fault.
It is your fault. Oh, see.
You all, would you hold on 1 second, Brenda. Just don't forget what you're about to say. Just put a comment there, because I want to make an appeal. People, if you have family members, if you have any family members, or if you know anyone that have children have died to violent crimes, would you all please tag them if they have social media pages? Because I want to get more people on it, because I don't want people to say, well, Brenda and Holly and Wayne, and they're being unjust and they're being biased and stuff like that. But it is very hard to tell somebody that has never lost a child to have compassion on somebody that murdered your child when Holly's son's murder have not been solved. Brenda's son murder has not been solved. When they saying it ain't enough evidence, I mean, and you in so many words, you insult them. And my other frat brother, Dr. Reginald Walton, who's the pastor of Amos Temple CME Church, says she ain't qualified. She ain't doing her job. They need to take a belt to these kids acting a fool. Holly said she was elected into office. We had notice in being a part of group that no parent volunteers for. Yeah. It almost makes me wonder if her family members are the ones committing these crimes, and that's why she's so she's saying her ground to do so. She's on the killer side, so it makes it easy for her to do what she's doing, just absolutely foolishness. Would you all please tag somebody and let them on here? We want to know. I want to know exactly how some of you families feel, because I want to put some of these comments on my wall. Because you can't tell somebody. This is something, I mean, y'all, Brenda was standing right there as they're on their way to watch night service and watch her son get gunned down in front of her granddaughter and in front of her two daughters. They on their way to church, and my nephew gets gunned down on his way to church. And you gonna tell her to have some compassion over the people that killed her son? Nah, she ain't got to say nothing. Doggone it, I'll speak up for her. That is just wrong to tell somebody to get over it. That's insulting.
That's pretty much what she's saying.
That's what I've been saying from the get-go. She trying to tell y'all just get over it. I'm sorry that your child died, but I don't have to make them serve 20, 30, 40, 50 years. I don't have to give them a life sentence. That's what she's saying in so many words.
First of all, she don't know the meaning of restorative justice, because restorative justice, the assailant is supposed to go to the family. They supposed to apologize to the family. Now, that's what restorative justice is. Ain't nobody doing that. It's very rare that somebody gonna go down and sit with their killer and let them apologize. Dean, it all depends on the circumstances.
Donald Lacey is the only one I know that went to San Quentin.
That's why I said depending on the circumstances. His circumstances was kind of different. But I'm talking about the people that took the gun and put it to your child's head and shot and killed him.
Or standing across the street and shove out 50, 60 rounds.
72. Anyway. Yeah, that's just ridiculous.
Michelle, just so they won't suggest that we are not factual, Marty. Let me give you the definition of restorative justice.
Thank you.
It is a system. It is a system of criminal justice which focuses on the rehabilitation of offenders through reconciliation with victims and the community at large. Exactly what Brenda just said.
Say it one more time, Wayne, because somebody went to the bathroom. Somebody like me went to go get a bottle of water. Go ahead.
A system of criminal justice which focuses on the rehabilitation of offenders through reconciliation with victims and the community at large. So it's a two-step process. Mm-hmm. There's the rehabilitation of the offender. And part of that rehabilitation is the reconciliation with the victims and the community at large. So that doesn't mean to just release somebody and reduce sentences because you feel like you want to.
Wayne, put a comma right there. So I'm thinking, if I'm comprehending correctly, you must go through some rehab first in order to learn what you've done wrong before you meet with the family members, if that's their desire to meet with you to get closure or to hear you apologize. Is that what I'm hearing what you're saying?
Of course, you're going to have some remorse and a process to restore. So a willingness to restore your behavior. So to just release somebody is not restorative. That doesn't mean restorative.
No, it doesn't.
If they didn't show remorse when they first got sentenced in the court before they got charged, they don't have it. It's a game. When you get about to get charged and you in front of them families, listen to them statements, that's when you need to apologize. And they might, be a little lenient somewhere along the line. But if you grinning and skinning in the courthouse, because I've had parents that had to be taken out the courthouse because the little killer's over there smiling at them. That's disrespectful.
Yeah.
Disrespectful.
I mean, they have to take responsibility for their actions, and understand the harm they have caused the victim and the community and their own families.
Yeah.
I mean, many of those kids, they got mamas and daddies and sisters and brothers who are affected as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not, they have to take responsibility for their actions, and then, be on a path to squelch that behavior that they've been operating by. I mean, it's not just to be released from jail or given a shorter sentence or reduced sentence. That's not restorative justice at all.
No. So, Brenda, it's been 13 years now?
Yeah, it'll be 13 on New Year's Eve.
It's been 13 years, almost 12 and a half years since Christopher was gunned down. His two sisters ain't got over it yet.
Neither is his mama. What do you mean?
Exactly. But I'm just saying, he said children are involved too. Of course, we know you gave life to him. That's something that you would never get over. You witnessed. It ain't like you got a phone call and somebody called you and told you.
Exactly. I was standing right there.
Exactly. There's a difference. I believe Holly got a phone call about her son. You was standing right there and witnessed the Negroes across the street shooting at your child. And you gonna tell me to get over it? I dare you, you dingbat. And the Baptist debate, let's get it right. It is not the Baptist Ministers Union that stand behind her. It was there's two unions in Oakland. One is the Bay Cities Baptist Ministers Union, President Dr. Joe Smith. That is not the Baptist Ministers Union, President Todd Wheelock. That is not the same union. We don't stand behind her. Neither does Marty Peters stand behind her. Some preachers do. God bless y'all. I'm not standing behind her because I want to stand with families like Holly Harrell, stand with families like Wayne Jackson, stand with families like Brenda, stand with the family of the person who probably got murdered on 580 today. What about these families that are hurting? So let's get that before y'all. It was not the Baptist Ministers Union and vicinity of Oakland. It was the Bay Cities Baptist Ministers Union that are on the front page of the Post last week that had prayer for her and stood with her. It was not the Baptist Ministers Union, President Pastor Todd Wheelock of the Antioch Baptist Church in West Oakland. It was not him. And the vice president is Pastor Marty Peters.
So help me understand something, brother minister. I saw the photo shoot, and that opportunity to be surrounded by black preachers. I got it. Trump had the same thing in his office. So my question for you is, why didn't they have a conversation with Pastor Wheelock and say, hey, let's get together and talk through this thing before we invite her to some kind of meeting so we can all be on the same page? That way the Christian community can be a united front. There could be some communication from the Christian community to her about what they want to see happen in the community, rather than this dividedness that continues to happen. See, this is what I'm talking about when you were talking about before. It's the division that is one of our main downfalls. See, we can't come together because we're too divided. See, we still operating on that plantation where you got house Negroes and field Negroes. And I'm not going to tell you which ones are which. I'm just saying the concept is still very alive.
I haven't seen anybody wrap their arms around these families, except for y'all. When we have a press conference, before we have them, the news, the families of homicide victims are going to be standing on the corner of 15th and East 15th. Don't no preachers show up. All the preachers ain't got a job. We ain't talking about the ones that have jobs.
I mean, and I got a job, and I still try to make time.
Whatever you can.
And I'm very busy on my job. I have 10, 15 jobs at my job, but I have compassion, and I'm not a victim. I'm not a family of a victim of a violent crime. I'm not. But I have people that I love. Like, I love Holly Harrell. I love Brenda. I love my other friend, my cousin, Amaletta, whose son was murdered. I know people and close to people who are murdered. I remember when that boy, the boy and his father got killed in Brookfield. And me and Pastor Wheelock was like, Marty, this is what I love about Todd Wheelock. This is what I love about. And I'm not saying that because he is my biological cousin. I'm saying that because Todd was like, Marty, I don't do the street stuff. I need you. Where am I supposed to go? Come stand on the corner with me. I'll stand with you and I'll watch you as you handle these people on the street. And when we got finished, he's like, cuz, you handle that, man. I called the right person. I don't know what to do. I don't do street ministry. That is not my gift, but I'll be there with you. I'll stand there, support you. I'll give some money. We raise some money tonight. Let's order some pizza for these families or some. Let's go get some chicken. He was right there, but he allowed me to do what I have been doing with Ceasefire when Ceasefire started for the third time at the Victory Baptist Church. It's just a gift that I have. I'm a natural people's person. And it was just gifted. But he was savvy enough and he was humble enough to say, hey, man, I need your help. I don't know what I'm doing out here, but I'm going to be out here. And I came. I left my job early to come out there when that little baby and his father both got murdered in Brookfield several years ago, probably about 5 years ago.
Longer than that.
Yeah, exactly. I remember you out there. It was Lawana Isles' grandson. Lawana Isles also graduated with me from high school. Me and Holly.
And Desley Brooks. We all three of us was out there.
Yeah. We were. Pastor Michael Wallace was out there too. I remember that he was out there too. But to answer your question indirectly, and yes, the Bay Cities Baptist Ministers Union did stand in prayer for her. They actually prayed for her, and they prayed that the hellhounds and the enemies would keep their hands off of her so she can do her job. That's in the prayer.
But see, that's the problem, Marty. That's the problem. Who's the hellhounds and who's the enemy?
Exactly. Because I know
we pray these prayers.
The enemies are people who's for the recall and people that are giving her hell because we don't feel that she's doing her job. Hey, Reverend Price.
But they label opposition as hellhounds and opposition. See, instead of asking the question, why are they opposing her? Really? Why don't they take a step backwards and go, okay, why is this that all these people are saying A, B, and C instead of just saying, oh yeah, we're gonna pray against the enemy?
How many times I get on TV and the mama's on there crying, mothers bringing letters from Pamela Price to give to the media where she didn't have talk? I mean, how many times is she gonna do that? We gonna do that till she get out of office? Is that what we got?
But the grieving families are hellhounds.
Well, they say that grieving families don't count because they just emotional. So that's what we were told. That's what I was told at the press conference at the courthouse when I handed the clerk the paperwork, the recall paperwork. The young man from Pamela Price's court, her committee, whatever, he said they don't care nothing about the families. They're just emotional.
He called victim of violent crimes emotional.
He said the parents are emotional.
But again, let me go back. Y'all, it's easy for people to point fingers and tell people what they really are and how they're acting, and your child, and you still have all of your children. I never will forget, man. People, when Nicole died, my kid's mother died, and y'all know I love Nicole. Remember my church? We were the best friends. We raised children for 30 years. I'm trying to tell you, people were really saying to my daughters, I know how y'all feel, and your mama's standing right there. How the hell can you know how somebody feel when your mama's standing right there? I've had to tell people, y'all, you don't know how they feel. All four of them are grieving totally four different ways.
Exactly.
My grandbaby Jewel grieves. She talks about her Coco every day. And I allow her to talk about her Coco every day. When she see a butterfly, she'll be like, Daddy, there go Coco watching over us. I'm like, yep, that butterfly sure is Coco. Coco watching over us. But you don't know how that baby feels. That baby was in a bed when her grandmother passed. And they're gonna tell you acting emotional. No, even with therapy, you still not acting emotional. It is sad. It is a sad commentary that people feel like that when you're in office and you've never lost a child. Your child have never been gunned down. Your nephew or your niece ain't never gunned down. You ain't had to hold your sister or your brother's hand while they cry all night long. I mean, it is just sad at what people say to victim of violent crime. Now, let me get back to you, Wayne, to answer you indirectly. We have cultural differences too. One, we're all younger in the Baptist Ministers Union than the Bay Cities Baptist Ministers Union. All of us are younger. We're not in our 60s, 70s, and 80s. We don't have anybody.
Watch it now. You mess with my age now. Hold on.
No. We don't have anybody in our union that's older than 65.
Okay.
66. We're between 66 and I think Pastor Jermaine Anderson may be the youngest in the Baptist Ministers Union. He and Pastor Kenny Anderson, I believe they're the youngest that's a part of the Baptist Ministers Union. So they may not understand stuff like we understand it. They may have not had to deal with members of their churches who are victim of violent crimes. Maybe they've never had to preach a homicide. Maybe they've never had to walk with a family down. Yeah, maybe they never had to walk with a family down the aisle and sit at them when their son or their daughter has been murdered or a victim of violent crime. So maybe they may see stuff different than we see stuff. But for Jermaine Anderson and Kenny Anderson and myself and Anthony Perkins and H.L. Garnett and Pastor Todd Wheelock, Pastor Curtis Robinson, Pastor Don Jones, we personally have members who have been murdered on the streets. We personally have. Matter of fact, Pastor Wheelock have two members of his church. One member shot another member, and their families all go to the same church. Yes. So he had to stand in between both families. One is going to jail for life, and the other one is deceased. So we look at stuff differently than they may look at stuff because we walk it. We're a little younger. We can vibe with our young adults and stuff like that. We're still hip enough to understand they lingo and stuff like that. I think when you've never had to walk down that avenue, like people have never had to walk down that avenue to tell y'all emotional. Ramon Price is on there. I grew up with him in my grandfather's church as little kids. He's lost two sons to victim of violent crimes. And he's on here talking about, so I'm emotional now. I've lost two sons to violence. And then a grandchild that got shot too, that he has had to deal with. So two sons and a grandchild. And he said, I'm emotional. I've lost two sons to gun violence in the street, but I'm emotional. So I think that's the dynamic without bashing anybody. But before I do anything, I'm gonna check real good before I jump into something. And Brenda will let you know. I'm like, okay, Brenda, let me think about it. Say something that I could just jump in and jump out, do a couple of commercials on TV, do a couple of interviews, do a couple of town halls, and I'm finished. No, this is gonna be a long, extended commitment. And it was one of the best decisions that I did because people see me as being a pastor that cares. They see me being a man who has never lost a child but having compassion and concern and care and enough charisma. Oh, I like that. That's 4 points right there. To be in the street, to be savvy enough to give interviews. I mean, when Bishop Bob Jackson walks up to you and says, "Hey, Marty, man, good job on the interview." They were interviewing about LaRon. You stand strong with LaRon. When the largest church in Oakland pastor tells you he's happy about the work that you're doing in the community, when Bishop Jerry Macklin, who's the second presiding bishop of the Church of God in Christ, can call you on the phone and FaceTime and say, "Marty, great interview. I'm glad at the work you and Sister Brenda are doing. I catch Real Talk sometimes, but I just watched the Channel 4 News and y'all were talking good. Keep up the good work." That means a lot. And I'm glad that Brenda got me involved in this race. In this marathon. It's not a race, it's a marathon. So if that bashes them, oh hell well be it. And I just made up a word, oh hell well be it. And I'm gonna stand on my grounds, I'm gonna stand on my words. And yeah, y'all go ahead and talk while I read these comments.
No, I mean, the church already has a, let's see, what do you call it, Wayne, where people don't really
stigma.
Yeah. And this doesn't help. There are thousands of families that have lost their children. Never in the 12 years that I've been doing this work has it been this bad.
No, I don't.
Never.
In my 54 years of life and living and being in Oakland all my life, except for the 9 years that I lived in Atlanta when I was in college and stayed there. And then but I still never missed a year coming here. I still came here 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 times a year. But this is crazy, man. This is crazy. Bishop Kevin Barnes said, "Hey, I just buried my great nephew that was murdered in Houston 1 month ago." So Bishop, that's your nephew or your niece child. How are they dealing with this? Because believe it or not, y'all, Houston is bad as hell. Houston is just as bad as Oakland, just like New Orleans and New York and Chicago and New Jersey and LA. It's bad.
It's bad everywhere. But we can only where we live, though. You understand what I'm saying? These kids belong to somebody probably that we know. These mamas know them cars unless they stole them, which they do frequently. I shared the video that somebody shared with me about what happened. Them young men got out the car with assault rifles, walked up to the tent, and all you saw was gunshots. I don't know how only one person died.
I mean, it was so much fire coming out those guns. It was ridiculous. And it was at nighttime, so you clearly can see.
100 shots. Easily. It was 3 assault rifles.
Bishop Barnes says, every single day is rough and tough for my nephew's mother and father.
Of course.
Hey, everybody. Thank y'all for joining. Y'all keep the comments coming. We're talking about some real stuff that's happening. Monty, you got on late. I was late because I got caught up in the traffic on 580. It wasn't on 13. It was on 580 on the top, right at the Edwards Avenue. Right at the Edwards Avenue is where the shooting. I was heading towards San Leandro coming from Berkeley, and I saw the car shot up on the side on 580 heading from San Leandro toward downtown. It wasn't on Highway 13. It was before you get to 13. All right. Yeah. Now let me check this out, y'all. And I'm all for this. I'm all for prayer. I'm a man of prayer. But you all, I'm really tired of people, and we just need to get together and pray. We pray every day about what's going on in our city. Y'all, we got to do more than pray. You mean to tell me you good, saved church people, all that's what y'all want to do is just pray? That's all you want to do is pray? What about your actions? What about putting your hands and feet where your mouth is? Yes, as Christians, we are supposed to pray, but we're supposed to do more than pray.
We have to. We got
to do more than pray. Prayer can change things, but God gives us the ability to change things.
I'm incensed.
Quit asking clear people. Then Farrakhan is right about this. I don't agree with a whole lot of stuff that Minister Louis Farrakhan makes, but he makes great news about this. Black people need to stop asking white people to help us do what we can do ourselves. What are we doing as a community? What are we doing?
None.
What are we doing? Y'all, you mean to tell me y'all don't think Brenda, Wayne, and myself pray? Y'all don't think Christians pray for a better world? It's bad everywhere.
Right.
Alicia Mayo, you're right. The violence is out of control because these adults and their kids are out of control. I believe that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You see all them people that was out there last night for the Dragons party? I bet half of them got kids. Where was your kids at?
Yeah, that's what we need. That's why the city needs to have leadership that is going to be responsive, not just with press conferences. Press conferences don't change a thing. It just keep rhetoric flowing through the media, and it's and it doesn't change a thing. So. I agree. One thing with the mayor said, that she's frustrated. Well, everybody's frustrated, Miss Mayor. Everybody's frustrated. Old people are frustrated. They can't walk to the store and get a glass. Can't get a quart of milk now.
They can't go get their medicines at Walgreens. Hell, the Walgreens in
everybody's frustrated. Everybody's frustrated. When a judge can't even walk across the street to get $20 out of an ATM machine, that's a problem.
Did she was frustrated with the crime, or she said she was frustrated because we don't have a police chief? What was the frustration?
She was frustrated. The process is slow, but she also that was in the context of her giving her opinion about the high crime and the increase in crime in Oakland after she got back from her mission from the Philippines or wherever she was at. No, Vietnam. She went on a mission to Vietnam for trade. I thought we already had a trade with Vietnam, but anyway, she said she went on a trade mission to Vietnam to make some partnership between Oakland and Vietnam. And when she got back, she made this comment. Well, crime don't stop because you're out of the city.
It ain't gonna stop when she hired a police chief. So that's not gonna solve the problem. That's
not gonna stop either. Whoever that new chief is, he's going to have to deal with a whole lot of stuff.
It's so far gone right now till it ain't even funny.
So the police don't stop crime. They're there to help,
Y'all, I'm down for town halls. I'm down for a peace march throughout the city of Oakland. I'm down for all that. Okay. What about after the town hall? What about a press conference? What about a press release? What about after the peace march? What are we going to do next?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Because if we don't, that's like somebody joining church and you don't have a follow-up program. You don't teach them or something like that. And they fall through the wayside and fall through the cracks. Whose fault is that? Yeah. That's the Christian Education Department. That's the pastor's fault. That's the counselor's fault. That's everybody's fault. That's that church failed that individual as a babe in Christ or somebody coming to the knowledge of Christ. There has to be a follow-up plan. There has to be plans. There have to be strategies for survival. There have to be a time you set up a prayer for Bible class, for teaching, for loving your people and stuff like that. It has to be time for that stuff. I'm down for a rally. I'm down for a peace march. What are we going to do after?
Right.
We've been preaching enough. We've been preaching enough. We've been to church. I mean, you got churches in Georgia that was founded in the 1800s. We've been preaching for a long time. But it's time for us to get out the parameters of the four walls of our churches. Ceasefire was all about trying to make contact with individuals in the streets, in the high crime neighborhoods. We were successful. We had taken guns off the street. We had taken some guys and got their got dental work done for them. We've taken some guys off the street, put them in a trade school, technical school, got them help. Y'all, we gotta show these killers some type of compassion in order to reach them.
Right.
And you just can't reach them with a suit on, out there trying to proselyte them and witness to them. It is a process and it takes time. Every Friday for about 3 years, I was on the streets in the rain, in the sun, dark nights that it got dark at 5 o'clock, nights that got dark at 9 o'clock. Year round, we were on the streets. We got to put something in place where we can have some type. We got enough fellowship halls at churches. There's enough community centers to teach these young men, to love them, to get them to put their guns down. And while I'm talking about it, how is it that they can get these assault rifles on the streets anyway? Let's deal with some of that. It's some of these police fault. It's some of these DA faults. It's some people with these guns that they take off the street and end up putting them back on the streets. And see, when you start talking like that, your life is going to be threatened. Your house is going to get shot up and all that other stuff. It is time for us to do something. Let's start holding people accountable. How do these assault rifles get in the Black community anyway?
Somebody bring them.
They come.
Somebody bring them.
I think we need to start. I think if we want to help crime, I think we need to start. We need to start there. Thank you, Price. Price said, "Yeah, you exposing them now. Why don't we start there? When are we gonna start there? How is it so easily that a 16 and 17-year-old can get an AK-47? And I want to know how the hell it was over 100 rounds right there in front of Brenda job. Where do they get money to buy 100 rounds of ammunition from?
They call their friend Pookie and tell them to pull up, say, I need a weapon. They pull up and open the trunk and they buy the weapons, buy the ammo. They ain't going to no
Marty, you're hitting the nail on the head now. So you're talking about something that is not debated. See, what the progressives do, they argue and they fight and they picket and they, press the governor for gun regulations and new laws. And as long as they can get background checks and, names and signatures on forms, they happy. But they ain't talking about where these guns are coming from. Ain't nobody arguing that. See, that's not on the list. But see, it's the background checks they worried about. It's the mental health.
Right.
It's rediverting their attention away from what's really happening. Those guns are bought to these communities. These kids are not buying these guns at no gun show. These gun shows are not selling this stuff to our kids and not giving them no ammunition. Gun shows where responsible gun owners go to buy weapons and ammunition. But these gun shows are not the problem. They're getting these guns off the street. Somebody is dumping them guns on the street. Now let's investigate that.
So when I'm going back to Washington in December. So when I meet with the congressional leaders, the senators, the first year I went, I said, well, Pookie them ain't buying no guns in a store. Pookie them ain't buying no ammunition. So the senator from Idaho, I think he's gone now. Every time I came, he's like, you the Pookie them lady. Because he was like, well, who is Pookie them? I'm telling you, he was like, well, who is Pookie them? He said, every time you come, you talking about Pookie them. We
have to teach him our vernacular.
Yeah, look. I tell you, I got some pictures. I'm telling them who Pookie them is. And, why our fight is different than the gun laws that I go to Washington to fight against. So to fight for. And we'll go in the senator and say, okay, I'll listen to all y'all stories, but I'm not signing that bill. I want to hear about each and every one of your loved ones, but I'm not signing SB, blah, 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 whatever. They'll tell you up front. It's not that life is not that important. Even there. They'll tell you point blank. You can either tell me the story, you can move on to the next person because I'm not signing that bill.
Price said, I bought my gun from Tay-Tay's Pookie's little brother.
Serious. I'm going to call my partner. Miss Grisham, you want a gun? I can get you one. No, no, I got my card.
I mean,
I'll give me one if I want to.
crime will go. They don't want crime to go down because they want Negroes to continue to kill Negroes, and why they're not going to take the guns out of us. And that's gentrification. That's another era of gentrification.
But through ceasefire, I talked to these young men, and it's many different reasons why they're out there on the street. And then we have to remember, as long as we have gangs, violence ain't gonna stop, because they have to walk by a gang to go to school. They gotta walk by a gang to go to church. They gotta walk by a gang to go to the store. So if you never address the gangs, maybe they should have a sweep and get all the gangs and put them in jail for a day or two.
And they know when ceasefire, we know all the gang areas. When I used to be a part of ceasefire, you know all what gang areas was. I'd be sitting there, they be talking about the hundreds. I'd be like, oh, that's what they call. Oh, I know all of them.
The twos, the threes, the all of that. I'd be like,
they start talking about Stone City, the hyphy boys. I'm like,
the boy next to me with the baby case. Well, where the big case is at? You the baby case, But like I said a few times, the time that Pamela Price came to ceasefire, the young man stood up and he said that they purposely do the crime. Let me tell you what we do. Can I tell y'all what we do? We figure out the crime we're gonna do. We figure out how long we gotta sit down, go and do the crime, and then go sit down. He said it right in front of her. She didn't open her mouth. So that young man told you he intentionally does the crime, and it was like 35 of us in there, FBI, DEA, U.S. Attorney's Office. And I meant to ask, where's he at now? I'm going to ask, where is he at now? Because he sure did. He said, I'm going to tell you. So check how it works.
So check this out, Brenda. One year, it was OCO, PICO, Billy Dixon, Demita Davis Howard, myself, J. Alfred Smith Jr., Dr. George Cummins, Pastor Larry Ashley. We were all in a meeting. I'm not going to even tell the location because, and it was secretly told where there was going to be. When I tell you, it was so many police out there, they bought in with their probation officers and a bunch of police, a bunch of undercover police. They brought the most violent drug dealers and the most violent criminals into a room. I don't know if it was.
That's it. That's the call in. That's what I go to.
But I'm talking about this was 10 years. This was 10 years ago.
For 7 years.
Huh?
Marty, that was a program that they did across the country. It was we did it. We had the same meeting over in the East Palo Alto area.
Yeah, and they told them about you guys. We watching the crime you're doing. We know where y'all are. We know where you be. We know what you drive. We know your phones are tapped. I mean, they told them that. And if y'all don't stop this crime, you're going to go to jail for 30 years plus. And
they send them away.
And they let them go. They got in their cars and they drove off and everything.
The deal was they were supposed to go back to the The deal was they were supposed to go back to the community.
After that meeting, I don't know what else happened after that meeting.
They still doing the meeting. I speak every quarter to young men, and every I think maybe twice I've seen the same person that I've seen there before, and I said, "You done been here before. I'm gonna need you to stop coming here. Don't you got a child?" Because I try to remember certain people. Yeah, I got a son. Well, don't you want something different? I said, don't tell nobody else it's your second time coming here, because I know you'd have been here at least twice. You just got out.
I don't even hear about these no more because I'm not.
Marty, just like you said, it's important for churches to have follow-up with new members and visitors. It's also important for the city government to have follow-up in terms of crime prevention. And so you can't just be, the overabundance of politics prevents our leaders really to be concentrated on crime. Crime is just one aspect of their job, and so they figure they have to campaign to get the next election. And so everything gets squashed. And so who gets the brunt of that dysfunction? Citizens of the city.
Mm-hmm.
That's who gets the brunt of the dysfunction. So crime continues. Communities are still bashed with gang violence and robberies and car break-ins and all this stuff because they're not really focused on follow-up. And so when you say what's happening to them, well, what's happening to them is that nobody's followed up with them. So
right.
If nobody's following up on you, then you continue to do what you do because they can outlast the politicians. See, that's the thing that people don't do. Crime outlasts politicians. See, and so they can get up there and say all they want to during campaign year. Oh, I'm going to reduce crime. No, you're not. You're going to campaign for the next election.
That's right. Because you have to actually physically do something to, stop the crime. But I'm going to say just one thing about this letter, because in her first response, she said that she's charged 7,610 cases in 8 months.
No, she ain't.
That's a lot of crime. But how many of them have been charged? And that was 2 weeks ago? It was at almost 8,000. I bet what it is now. But how many of these people have been actually charged? I mean, have been convicted out of the 7,600.
That's a whole nother monkey.
Exactly. But that's a lot of crime right there. I done charged 7,600 criminals. What? In 8 months? Imagine in 8 more months. If she was to be there for 8 more months, what you think gonna happen? That's 8 months. I'm 8,000.
But yet, Brenda, you stopping her from doing her job.
No, I ain't got to keep playing with nobody. No. I get sleepy. I got 5 families in my inbox right now that want to talk to me because their kids killers was the charges was dropped, or they trying to get a plea deal.
You undercharging and not charging.
Both.
For the sake of being a progressive, so she can get that vote in 3 years from now.
That's a process. That kind of stuff is a process. We want justice to be fair, but you have to build a foundation. You can't just come in letting people out because they black and under 25. What you gonna do with them? If the system wasn't working before they went in there to save them, it's not gonna work now. You got to build a foundation to make it work. But they still need to sit down for taking lives. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care if they boo-hooing under the seat. You need to sit down for taking somebody's life. They didn't have a chance to plead for their life.
That's not progressive. That's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. That's just okay. I need a fan because I got mad.
Get that church fan with the Martin Luther King on him. You'll be all right.
Some stuff is just stupid.
Until we can get these guns off the street, until we can stop that, it's not gonna get no better. Ain't get no better.
Ain't nobody addressing that part of it though.
And it's a pandemic. It's. I mean, if we treated gun violence like we treated COVID,
with an urgency.
Across the country like we did. We might see some real sustainable change, and
absolutely. And then we can do reform.
Then we can do reform. Then you can be progressive.
Then we can rehabilitate.
Right. After
you be aggressive, so you can be progressive.
Then we can get them. Then we can get them a trade or send them to a technical school. Get their GEDs. Teach them banking. Teach them how to go to school. Teach them how to do electronics. Teach them how to do green jobs, solar jobs. Plenty is jobs out there. I mean, In-Out Burger got a sign say they hiring $22 an hour.
But see, we keep focusing on these kids. Some of their parents need the same exact assistance in order for them to be better parents.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. See, it ain't just the kids. It'll be, with reform. Reform is talking about the whole household.
Right. It's some
it's hard, just like they talk about kids can't learn in school. It's hard for kids to concentrate when they get to when they get to class and they haven't had a meal.
Exactly.
And the meal that they have eaten is cookies and candy on the way to school. So I applaud these districts that are providing meals for kids as they come to school. And people think, oh, that's a handout. No, it's not a handout. It's a help out. It's to help these kids concentrate. They can't think when their stomach is growling and their brain is all messed up because they thinking about a Happy Meal. I mean, people don't understand that. These kids cannot learn if they don't eat.
Right. And some of the only meals they get is at school, breakfast and lunch.
Yeah, that too. And they be
trying a lot of these kids do the after school program because they're gonna get some snacks. Right. They're gonna get some juice, they're gonna get some cookies, some candy, a hot dog or something. And it is a shame. It's hard to witness to people and it's hard to get to their heart when they're hungry and teach them something.
Marty, and the other thing, Marty, is that if there was really if there was a real effort to suppress crime and that they had some limits on what can happen in the city, the citizens have to agree to that. And so we cannot fight reform and then expect reform to happen. You can't do that. You can't grow collard greens and then claim that the greens don't taste good because you haven't taken them out, picked them and cooked them. I mean, you gotta have. There's a process to this thing. See, so we cannot fight reform and then claim we're not getting any change in our city. You see, reform has to take place. It has to take root, and then out of that comes the seeds of change. They don't happen just because you put somebody in there that look like you in office. That's not gonna cut it. I'm not voting for anybody black because they're black. I'm not gonna do it.
And we, also, if you look at all the politicians, it's like cliques. You know what I mean? Well, I talk to the community. What community you talking to? Because I ain't never heard nothing about what you talking about. They got their little cliques. They got their friends over here. That's the community. No, that ain't the community. We go to
that's your clique. That's your clique.
To have all their friends come. No, your friends ain't the community. These other people outside that live there need to be in because that's the community.
See, here's the thing that really troubles me when I hear this stuff and I just want to throw stuff at the TV. How can a person who is elected say they are afraid to go into their district? Can you help me understand that?
Well, the mayor told us she can come to our town hall because she felt threatened. That's what the mayor.
Threatened by whom?
The mayor told somebody else that
at a church.
Tell us that
she has an entourage. She get police chiefs get coverage. LaRon Armstrong came to the community. He didn't know entourage.
LaRon was in there by himself.
He by himself.
No, he wasn't by himself. He had a friend with him. Well, but anyway.
well, whatever. We know that he has to carry that. So
yeah. But yeah,
he wasn't by himself either.
No, yeah, he wasn't by himself.
I know some preachers that got 6 deacons with them everywhere they go.
The privilege is to bring our friends.
Hey, Marty, I know some preachers got 6 deacons everywhere they go too.
They got a friend in the car, a friend in the glove compartment.
No, that's what she said. But the she couldn't come to a church, but she went to doggone Arroyo Park.
In West Oakland, and the other end of West Oakland.
Meet with the church people and the people from the community, but she went to Arroyo for my frat brother.
Well, who your frat brother? Kevin Jenkins?
Dwayne Akins.
Okay. Anyway. Yeah. Well, she's scared to go to Matthew's church too now. So
yeah, next Saturday.
Yeah.
3 events going on at the same time.
That's gonna be interesting. Real interesting. Yeah. I guess you gotta do what you gotta do.
All right. Well, I'm giving y'all a week off, maybe a couple of weeks off. Next week, my guest will be Pastor Maria Rains of the Center of Hope Community Church, and we will talk about mental health in the Black community.
There you go. That should be good.
On next side. Now, if y'all want to come on with me, y'all more than welcome to come on with me. And
you need your freedom to go on there, man. Go and bring your other hosts, the other guests on there. We can chime in.
Okay. All right. We're dealing with mental health.
I'll send you a note or two.
We're gonna deal with mental health in the Black community next week. The flyer will be out very soon. Next week, y'all have a safe weekend. If y'all can, stay inside. The streets are very dangerous out there. It's a 3-day weekend, and they started killing last night. So we don't know how many we're at from Sunday to Friday. We don't know how many murders we are. It has risen. All right, you all. Thank you all for joining us. I appreciate my guests as always. We're the trio. We the posse. We go way back, especially from Richmond.
Oh, what? Richmond?
Yeah. Well, we came to see you get to.
That was a triggering event in my life. I'm traumatized. I'm going to listen next week, get some mental health on that one.
I just thought about what you said. You man.
She didn't catch it. I was looking at Wayne the whole time. I said, yeah, she didn't catch that one.
I didn't. I was like, Richmond. That's what I said.
Y'all will never know what we're talking about. That's just the trio. That's just us. That's just us. That's something that we'll laugh at until Jesus comes. All right.
I have been meaning to ask you something, Brenda. I better do it offline though, because I don't want to do it online. They might be listening.
Yeah, do that offline.
One day I'm gonna let you ask that online. Wait, one day I'm gonna let you answer that online.
No, huh?
One day I'm gonna let you answer that live.
No, you're not.
Hey, wait! I bet you Brenda be like, "Hold on, I can't hear you. There's something wrong with my computer."
She gonna say, "Hold on, that mic. Hold on."
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Is this thing still on? Oh. All right, y'all. We're gonna continue to pray. Continue to lift up our community. We thank you all for being community oriented. We love our communities. We love what we do, and we appreciate it. Y'all following us. Thank you.
Take care, everybody. Be safe.
Peace.
All righty.